Today I am going to be working on this side of the house. This is the east side of the house. You can tell my neighbor's side and my side. And it's actually not going to be a work that I do just today. It's probably going to take me a whole week because there is a lot that is going to change here. I am going to be adding an arbor. I am going to be removing some of those boxwoods. I am going to be changing the structure of how that hedge is coming to be. And if you notice here, I have been trying to grow grass here since winter, well, last fall and this spring, and I suck at it. You can see a lot of the baby grass that is coming. This path is probably going to have to be a stepping stone pathway. Eventually, it's not going to happen this week. It's not going to happen this month. It's probably going to happen, I don't know, sometime when I have the time to go look for the right materials and I have a good weekend to volunteer my kids to help me with this. I have really been wanting to work on this side of the house because it's towards the front, and I just haven't really had the budget or the time, or just other things like priority. But finally today we're going to make that happen, and I am happy to bring you along. That boxwood hedge has developed into a beautiful structure. It seems like yesterday when I was just here planting these guys, they started as 1 gallon containers. These boxwoods grew very quickly. They are in full sun most of the day, and my gosh, I just love boxwood hedges. Okay. Go. I think that I want to be kind of even with the house where you are. Oh no, my chancla. That makes sense. Should I pick up the other side?
Pick up this side. Got it?
Yeah. Okay. It's kind of big. That's kind of big. That's kind of big. It's too tall. Do you think that we have a machine to cut this? Well, this thing turned out to be a little too tall for this space. I absolutely love this arbor, and I am going to make it work. Definitely adding the extra panel at the bottom raises this thing like it's too tall, but I love it. So what we're going to do, not today though, what we're going to do is that I am going to have my husband cut the extra panel in half. I think that's about as much as I want to go as high. So we're going to cut that to shorter the the height of this thing. That's how it goes. Well, it's a couple of days later, and I got my husband to remove a good chunk of height, of length of that bottom panel, and it made for the perfect height for this arbor, for this spot. As I mentioned before, this arbor is a little bit extra wide, and it's perfect for where I want it, but it definitely was a little bit too tall. And I didn't even realize it when I got it, and I'm glad that it worked out the way that it did. The arbor has two panels or two stakes at the bottom where I can just place it where I need to. And if you look into getting this arbor for your garden, you definitely need an extra set of hands for setting it up. It's definitely not heavy, not super heavy, but it's definitely bulky enough that you're just going to need some help. I am going to be working here today, removing some things, adding a bunch of plants, but one of the first things that I am going to do is that I am going to remove a couple of boxwoods. They are definitely not even on the one side. I don't know if I want the arbor completely covered with the boxwoods or not. I'm still thinking about it. I'm still deciding. I did come here yesterday and weeded this whole area, getting ready to make room for the plants that I have. And my goodness, you guys, the amount of weeds over here was crazy. I do have a couple of Russian sages there. I might have to remove one. I am not sure yet. I'm a visual person, so I cannot really put a plan on paper. I kind of have to see it before I decide if I'm going to go for it or not. It's just kind of how things go in this place. Here are some of the things that I am going to be planting here. It's already so hot. It's not even 10 in the morning. It's so hot already. Most of the things that I am going to be planting today are perennials and shrubs, things that are going to come back year after year. But depending how much space I have, I might add some annuals like super tunias, because I had plenty left over from my project for the planters out front. So let me bring you a little bit closer so you can see what I have. The main roses that I have that are going to be climbing up this arbor eventually are these Above and Beyond climbing rose. I got these from Lowe's, and my goodness, you guys, they are amazing. I just love the very petite flowers or roses. I did have this rose a while ago, I believe, or one of these varieties a long time ago on the east side of my house. And they did so well. I don't actually remember what happened to it. It probably went to one of my friends or my mother. But I am happy to finally be able to bring it back here. And I do hope that they like this space. Another rose that I am going to be adding as a shrub, just standing, is this David Austin Boscobel or Boscobel, however you say this. It's supposed to be a medium shrub, about 4 feet tall and 4 feet wide. And this one is just so beautiful. That rose is just simply beautiful. Look at that. This one is already very, very spent, but the whole plant has a bunch of buds ready to open up. So I gotta get it in the ground. I do have a few of these Jacob's ladder. This one is for a shade garden, and even though this area is between homes on the east side, I really do hope that by putting them in front of a shrub that it may get the shade that it needs. Look at that texture though. This is the tag for that plant. I also have a few of these Guayguara. They had them as annuals where I purchased them, and I don't believe that these are going to be annuals for my son. I grew a bunch of these from seed a few years ago, and the plants went to my mother, and they are back every year, and they are just lovely. Look at the blooms on that. So beautiful and magical. And I have a few of these. I also have a couple of these sedum. This is the dark foliage sedum, and I just know that it's just going to be so nice here. Look at that. And I also have a few of these veronicas. I can never tell the difference between veronicas and salvias. So when I saw it, I first thought it was a salvia, but it turns out it is not. It's a veronica. So look at that color. Look at that color. I normally don't keep the tags of the shrubs or the perennials that I plant in my flower beds. I just can't keep track of them that well. But making videos like this where I can just come back and check the name of the plants that I have here originally, it's always helpful. I gotta get these plants in the ground. I gotta hurry up because this spot is going to be in the full sun really soon, and it is hot and muggy today. So I have a bazillion things to do in the rest of my garden, so I just gotta get these guys in the ground today. I have to come here in the shade so that I can continue working on another area of the backyard where I can use the shade right now. It's really hot, as I mentioned, but I have a few things that I can do here, and let me show you. Back here against the back screen porch, I have still a bunch of plants that I need to get in the ground. These guys are not going to be staying here. These guys are going to be part of the community garden. And I have plenty of plants still that I have to work with. But right here, this little area is what I am going to be working today. I have containers from last year that had some things. This container right here, the black one, had some cannas. It was nothing but cannas, and it did great. And I didn't do anything for the winter. I just left it there. And I know it's going to be hard trying to empty in that. I do have other containers back there. That one had a bunch of foxgloves, that small container. And I thought that maybe those foxgloves were going to come back there, but they did not overwinter well. So I'm going to have to replace that. I do have a couple of super tunias that I think I'm going to place there. But regardless, this area right here needs a little bit of love. I have lots of weeds popping up there. I have a nice frame of bricks that are kind of dividing the grass in this raised bed or this corner. But right now they need my attention. The boxwoods, I have to trim the boxwoods because they just need that. It's that time of the year. Oh, I was going to show you this planter, you guys. I got this planter last year from at home, and it stayed there over winter. It was not supposed to. It's not the type of material that you want to leave outside, but it did. It looks okay, and I think that I am going to reuse it. I am going to remove some of the potting mix from last year, and I am going to add a little bit more and add a few annuals. I am risking it though, because the bottom part of the planter, you can see it's kind of falling apart. But I look a little bit closer, and it's actually just the mosaic part of the planter that is coming off of there, and it feels nice and solid as I try to push in. That is not soil. The dark pieces that you see there inside, that is just part of the main, I guess, part of the main planter. So I am going to just keep it for this year. If it does fall apart on me, as you know, as the season goes, it's going to be fine. But I do love this container, and it totally got away from me. Time got away from me in the fall. I really wanted to bring it inside, but it didn't happen. So we'll see how it goes this season. And that spirea, that bridal wreath spirea, is done blooming. Still has a couple of blooms here and there, but it is time for me to prune it hard right now. Otherwise, that thing will just take all over that area. And I'm not sure that I show you yet, but the planter that I got from Bootstrap Farmer, it's full with plants. I have a bunch of annuals there that are going to grow tall. I have a couple of vines as well, and I did add a sort of support there for the vines. We'll see how that goes, but slowly things are coming together. This bed right here, this stepping stone bed, needs a lot of love, lots of weeding, lots of things that need to happen here, but it's just one day at a time, one little project at a time. The alliums on this side, on the east side of the house, are fully open. They're beautiful, they're gorgeous. I am so glad that I left those there. When I placed that raised bed there, I knew that it was going to be really close right there in the middle, but I decided to wait because those things were already big and grown, and they were not going to take transplanting well. So I am so glad that these gorgeous specimens, these gladiator alliums, are full in bloom. This type of spirea blooms on old wood. So all the blooms that I had this year in the spring, they grew last year. So the right time for me to prune any blooming shrub is right after they bloom. So right now I'm just taking a bunch. I am taking a bunch of size of the shrub, because this thing is going to like push a lot of growth this year. Somebody hit the ladybug. So this thing is going to push a lot of growth, and all of that growth is what is going to bloom next year. But I don't want to get it too big where it just gets out of hand. I am seeing that I'm also going to have to prune that Rose of Sharon next door, because it's definitely getting there. And that Rose of Sharon has been there for quite a few years, and it took about 3 years or so before really started pushing any growth. And this year it's definitely showing the size. So as I'm pruning this spirea, I'm not really too worried about keeping it round or keeping it short. I don't mind the height, but I do not want to get all of this growth pushed this way. And I actually don't mind if it's just like a flat shrub to give me privacy. So I am concentrating more on this flat part, the part that faces the container. And even though you cannot see it, I'm also cleaning underneath the shrub. I don't want it to completely block the wind. And actually, it helps for air circulation to have spots where the air can just push through, especially for my boxwoods. If you're wondering, the pink pruners that I use on almost everything that I do here in my backyard are from Hoselink USA. I have a code if you want to check them out. I think we're almost out of battery. We'll see what we can get. Well, I got one done. I have a total of 6 to do, but I got one done. I gotta recharge this battery, otherwise it's just going to be painful trying to get these guys nice and pruned. But look at the difference. Look at the difference. I'm not quite done with this one yet. I gotta get a little bit closer. Look at the difference between all the spring overgrowth to these guys. Okay, the area that I have right there next to the arbor, this is the east side, you guys, and it's early in the morning. The sun is about to hit this area right here, but it is almost done. I think that this is where I'm going to be stopped at this moment. I have all of those roses and perennials planted. I kind of reshaped the bed a little bit just on the left side. I am very happy with where I am right now. I added some fresh mulch. I also use a little bit of the biotone fertilizer from Spoma when I planted these guys here. Everything is looking great. I am not expecting a huge instant gratification from this flower bed. It slowly is going to fill in. It's going to hopefully look a lot better here towards the end of the summer. But next year for sure those perennials are going to be looking just great. I decided to remove one of the boxwoods on the right side, and they are sort of even on each side. Once they start growing, once they start pushing a little bit more growth, I'll shape them so that they look even. They're not right at the same level where they're planted, so I couldn't really just take two out and make them even. I really like where they are, and I'm just hoping that they're going to look better in future years. I am really hoping that these above and beyond roses do well here. They're going to get plenty of sun, and I'm really excited for these guys, you guys. I know that they look a little bit small now for where they are, but when it comes to climbing roses, it's all about patience. So overall, I am really happy with how this little pathway is shaping out to be. I think that the next thing that I am going to do this year, maybe next year, I am going to be working on the pathway, on removing the grass that is from the pathway, because it is just simply it's not working. This is the other part of the garden, the backyard where I was working at the same time there in the front. And I pretty much got it where I think that I'm happy. I added mulch underneath those boxwoods. It's amazing to me how much a flower bed can change by just adding fresh, clean mulch. The boxwoods are definitely looking a lot better with their pruning. I haven't really done anything as far as fertilizer this year for the boxwoods, but I am getting ready to. And thankfully, my dog has forgotten about these boxwoods here. He found other boxwoods in another spot, but these guys are just looking pretty good right now. This little corner makes me so happy. I added that plastic woven container. It is plastic, but it has a liner in there, and I added these hostas. I don't have a lot of shade in my garden, but this part right here I think is perfect for these hostas. I have a total of 4. They're different varieties. And my goodness, I just love all that texture. I still have to do a couple of things here. The boxwood that has been in that container for years. I need to add a little bit of potting mix, a little bit of fertilizer, give it a nice trim. And that firelight hydrangea that I have in that container also needs a little bit of love in the form of fresh potting mix and fertilizer, because I can definitely see the roots there, and yeah, it just needs a little bit of love. But as I was working on this side of the house, I noticed that hydrangea in that spot, and while it had been doing okay for the last couple of years, I feel like this is really the first spring where it's just shining, where it's just thriving. So I'm really excited to see how this spot looks like here in the summer. Things are looking great, and it has been a lot of work, lots of work. If you are a gardener, if you have garden spaces, you know everything that is involved when it comes to getting things ready for the spring. So that's it for this video, you guys. I hope that it gave you a push to go out there in your own gardens and start working in those flower beds, get rid of those weeds, add some mulch. If you are enjoying this kind of videos, let me know. I would love to know where you're riding, where you're watching from, and I will see you on the next time.